What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video, yeah, it's a little bit repetitive, but hey, it's a new combination. Not a 22 Hayabusa. Yeah, that's right guys, it's another Kawasaki, one of our old favorites. We've got a Kawasaki ZH2. This is a 2022 model. This is a new combination for one on the channel. It has a Brox Performance full pentacarbon exhaust system and a Sprint F185 air filter. So we know this thing is gonna be breathing super good. It should make extremely good horsepower, right? Well, we're gonna have to do a little bit of work to get that because these things have crazy restrictions in them from the factory. And if we don't remove those restrictions, these things don't really make too impressive of horsepower numbers. Let's see what we can come up with when we unrestrict this 2022 ZH2. So we're about to do the baseline pull on this supercharged Kawasaki ZH2. This thing is advertised as having pretty big horsepower, and it kind of sort of does from the factory, but really, it doesn't do a lot better than a ZX10 with exhaust in tune. But when we crank it up, this thing really does good. And what I mean by crank it up is just hold it wide open and keep it wide open. I'll show you more about that in a second. Baseline pull is done, a whopping 170 horsepower. You're like, now that's pretty good. But this thing is supercharged, guys, so no, that's not good. Anyways, we gotta get the power out of this thing, but first, let's talk about where is the power? Why is it like this? So you can see the thing goes up to about 11,300 RPMs, and then she starts to head back downhill really quick. Now, does thing make pretty good torque, around 88 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty decent. This is a 1,000cc bike. Most 1,000cc bikes, let's just say, make between 75 to 85 after they're tuned. So that does good. But let's look at what we got going on here. So this is the file from a stock ZH2. We're gonna go to other maps, and then we're gonna go to this electronic throttle valve table. Now in this table, when we put it into, let's just say 5th gear, because that's what we dynoed it in, you can see here, this is our throttle position table. So when we go wide open, that's what this reads. And then this is your RPM. Look at where it goes 100% throttle at 9,000 RPMs. After that, the throttle plates start to close back off. Remember what it did at 11,000 RPMs a while ago when it shut off? That's because it reduced back to 59% power, then 36% power at 12,000 RPMs. See guys, I told you, you got supercharged 1,000, you bought one, but you didn't get one. So anyways, we're gonna unrestrict this thing. Take a look at it in 1st gear. In 1st gear, you never get 100% throttle. Yeah, that's right guys. You go wide open, the bike never goes wide open. At 12,000 RPMs, we're back to 36% throttle, and so on. Long story short, this thing is heavily neutered from the factory. We're about to take all that off. We're gonna do some other things too, such as lower the fan temps. We're gonna disable the factory O2 sensors. We're gonna disable the factory exhaust valve, so we don't need a servo buddy. We're gonna disable the top speed rev limiter. So we're gonna take that off. I say top speed rev limiter. It's not a rev limiter, it's a top speed limiter. The bike still has a rev limiter, but it does not have a speed cap. We're gonna take that off for off-road purposes only. Anyways, let's go in this thing, get it dialed in, and see what kind of power we can get here in just a second. Okay, the baseline flash is in. We've got the bike warmed back up. We've got the tire hot. Let's see what kind of numbers this thing makes after we've unrestricted it and got the full potential out of our supercharged 1000cc bike. We're also going to now dial in the air-fuel ratio to make sure everything is balanced out and ironed out perfectly on this thing. Another thing that we're going to gain a lot of is rideability. So we didn't talk about it a lot to start with, but let's just say you're not looking for extra power. There's still a lot to gain from how much better this thing will ride and cruise around. You can see hopefully the last flash is finished. We should be about done with this thing. Now if you guys have a ZH2, you can actually mail your ECU into us. We unrestrict it and put a fuel tune in it in order to get you more power and make your bike, I guess you would say, ride much better and smoother, and it is 100% safe. Now, can we crank these things up? Let's just say you watch some other dyno videos and you see these things making 230, 240, 250 horsepower. That is not necessarily safe on this bike. Now this bike has cast internals, meaning cheaper parts than a normal H2. A normal H2, they'll make 250 horsepower once we flash them at 2 on my dyno. So people are like, oh well, it's an H2 motor. It's an H2 design motor. It's not the same internals as an H2. That's why it's $17,000 or $18,000 versus $30,000. It's a big difference. So anyways, we've got this thing tuned to where it is making good, safe, reliable horsepower. In other words, you could ride this thing anywhere you want to go, put 91 or 93 octane fuel in it, and you're safe to hammer down and ride. Now, could we crank it up and make a little bit more horsepower? Yeah, real easy, real easy. Just a push of a button for me. I know exactly how to do it, but I don't feel good sending those tunes out, whether they be on the dyno or in the mail, because I know failure is coming. Anyways, enough blabbering, let's see what this thing does. that the ZH2 is all finished. Overall, super impressed with this thing, how it did. The Brock's Performance Pentacarbon is a really good sounding exhaust. It's loud, but yet not too crazy loud. The Van Diemen is actually pretty similar with the baffle out, but overall, this is a really nice looking exhaust system for a really good price. This is the full stainless steel system. They do make a full titanium system, if I'm not mistaken, that would look really nice as well as lose a little more weight. If you like this exhaust system, I have a discount code for Brock's Performance that you can use just when you go to check out on their website. Type in the code Moore Mafia 5% off. 5% off on an exhaust system, that's a big savings. Final numbers, 211, 47, and 95 foot-pounds of torque, but look at the gains we had here. At the highest point where we could rev the stock ECU, we were at 12,500 RPMs. We made 130 horsepower. Now we make 205.89. Huge gains. And you can see on this thing, it doesn't stop making horsepower. So when I let off the gas, that's when the horsepower goes down. If I extended the rev limiter on out, I only take it to 13,000. Let's just say we took it to 13.5, probably make 225, somewhere around in there. But, and let's just stay safe. This thing, no way are you gonna be able to keep the front end down and use the horsepower it has at the 211. Now, let's just say you have one of these things, you're like, Chris, it's fast enough, I really don't need any more horsepower. Well, your rider mode, road mode, sport mode, all that stuff still works. So you can adjust your power levels to whatever you may need, but the thing is gonna ride much smoother because the air-fuel ratio is corrected. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure you subscribe and click the bell for notifications. We're getting so close to 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, boys, I cannot wait. This has been a goal of mine for quite some time. We've had a lot of big videos with a lot of big views, but these subscribers have been, I guess you'd say, hard to get. They take time. You gotta work your way up. People will smash that, you better. Smash that like button all day long, but that subscribe, yeah, it's hard to get it. Subscribe is free, doesn't cost anything. If you don't have a name on YouTube, take a few minutes and create one. We appreciate it. Support the channel. Hit us up, mooremafia.com if you have any more questions. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.